Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and my Allegro project. So in and out of work over the last few days I've been quite busy. I've actually built up the engine, the decent cylinder head is now on the replacement engine. We've done the oil change, cover gasket, oil seals and water pump, that's all been replaced. And actually last Wednesday outside of work I dropped the engine into the car, it's now sat on its mounts. Now I did this off camera because I only get 2 days off work a week and my time is short, and obviously this time of year the light fades pretty quickly, so I just wanted to get on and get it done. So today it's just final fix, plumbing, drive shaft back in, we'll bolt everything back together and then we're ready for that first test drive. Right, cup of tea and let's crack on. Right, so this is George's original engine and I'm not entirely done with this yet because I'm going to come back to it and maybe look at it again in the summer, and we might do a strip down video and just find out what's exactly going on inside, because it was actually running alright, well, reasonably alright. But yeah, we'll get this covered up, and because I don't want it to get any worse. But yeah, we've got a lot of work to do this morning, so let's crack on. Oh dear, right. Well, after a bit of cursing, the drive shafts are in. Gearbox steady and gearbox linkage is connected. Coils back on. Wiring loom. Clutch slaves back in as well. I've got to put the carburetor on, connect a couple of hoses, and then actually we could do a test fire now. Yeah, let's see if she'll crank over. Just hook up the battery. First test fire. Lovely. Just gonna start. Right, I've got some wiring to do. Right, situation report. It's going back together gradually. I've just wrestled with the exhaust. That was a bit of a pig. Oh, top tip, if you're working on the exhaust on your own and you're trying to get the manifold downpipe into position, use a trolley jack. You can pump the trolley jack up and that pushes the exhaust up against the manifold. You can then smear some sealant around it while it's in place, get the clamp on. Speaking of clamps, I bought a replacement one off eBay for about £6, listed for mini or Allegros. It's too small, must be for earlier manifold downpipes or small exhaust systems, because that does not go around the downpipe on this car. So that was a waste of money. So why brush it up and give it to somebody else? So why don't I like using or reusing exhaust clamps? Well, they can distort as you tighten them up, so I thought I'll just get another one. That saved me the time and the labour of having to clean it up, but no, that backfired, didn't it? Never mind, lesson learned. Right, almost at a point where I can get the wheels back on this car now. I've pumped up the suspension, the hubs are fully home. It's all going back together, the wiring loom is plugged in, obviously we know it cranks, so clean up a tools, cup of tea, and we can get the wheels back on. Yeah, so exhaust is in place, downpipe is secured, and also there's a mount further down there. I don't know if you can see, it's like a stabiliser. That bracket there that comes off the back of the gearbox, that's a stabiliser to hold the exhaust in place, so that's all fully tightened up. So before I put any oil in it, it would be a good idea to put the rocker cover gasket back on. So again, just making sure the surface is nice and clean, which it is. We don't want any leaks, do we? Right, here's the replacement rocker cover gasket, part number RC6308, made by BGA Gaskets. I like these, they're quite good thick compounds. A bit thicker than the cheaper cork ones. Just putting the carburetor back on, fitting new gaskets, so that ensures it will be airtight hopefully. Throttle return spring. Fuel line. An A series should take about 4.5 to 5 litres, so we're going to put some in, let it settle, and then recheck the level. This could take a while. Be right back. There we go, right. So if I put this cap in correctly, the lead should be in the right order. That's fine. One. That's clearly 4. Right, well, we're almost there, guys. Before I start the car, though, I'll make sure we've got oil pressure. So I'm going to crack the engine over without the distributor lead connected. Make sure the oil pressure light goes out on the dash, and then we can go for a test fire. Fingers crossed. Right, again, so coil is not connected. We're just going to crack the engine over until this light goes out. Hopefully. Right, choke out, will it start? We've gained oil pressure. That is excellent news, guys. Obviously I'm not going to run it without any coolant, so clean up the tools, cup of tea, get in. Right, wheels are back on. It's actually a couple of days later now. It's now Wednesday, my day off. I would like to get this car running and driving today if we can, but I did notice on initial test fire that the fuel pump that's on the back of the donor engine is leaking like a sieve. So luckily we've got George's old one. We'll swap that over quickly, fit a new gasket. I got that from Mini Mine. Thank you for their quick service, they're brilliant. And while we're at it, we'll fit some new fuel lines. So let's get that done. Just two 13mm or 1/2 inch bolts. Then we'll clean up the mating surface. Right, we are finally getting somewhere, guys. The bonnet is back on, and thank you to Bruce for giving me a hand with that. That was really appreciated, thank you. We have an issue though. I've just gone to start the car and it seems to be misfiring, which is a bit odd. But I think I've got to the bottom of it already. I suspect this distributor is faulty. When I set the points the other day, I noticed on the 4th revolution of the cam, they have little lobes which open to close to the points. On the 4th pickup point, the gap was significantly smaller, which is a bit strange. So I presume that one of the lobes is very badly worn. So what's happening is that it's not opening and closing the points and sending the spark at the correct point, or the spark is too weak. So the gap's going to be completely on the piss, hence why the car is misfiring. I've checked and readjusted the points just in case it was that. I've even put another setting there, but unfortunately it's doing the same thing. I'll just try and show you on camera, but on every 4th pickup point the gap is smaller, hence why it's misfiring. Right, so unfortunately I can't do any more for the moment, so I need to get on eBay and get one of these ordered up. I'll do that shortly, and then there will be a part 5, guys, in which we'll get this in the car, we'll get the car timed up, we'll do the coolant, and then it's finally time for a test drive. Fingers crossed. Right, I need to clean up my tools, have a cup of tea. I'll see you in part 5. Won't be long, George.